You've already been tested, not with a question and not in a conversation, but by how many seconds it took you to respond. That moment where you paused to process the room? To a social predator, that isn't intelligence, it's a lag in your defenses. While you were busy analyzing their tone, they were measuring your reaction time. That delay is exactly how they decided you were the easiest target in the room. Here's the danger. When your mind turns inward, replaying a sentence or scanning for intent, your attention drops outward. You stop tracking the person in front of you, and in that gap they see exactly how much control you're trying to maintain. To a predator, your intelligence doesn't make you unpredictable. It makes you measurable, it makes you a pattern that can be solved. And once you're measurable, you're controllable. Picture this. A message lands in your inbox. Come see me. Most people see a meeting. You see a hidden equation. You replay every email. You scan every conversation. You check the tone. You ask yourself what changed, what shifted, what you missed. By the time you walk into the room, you are not present. You are already defending yourself against a threat that has not even been named. That is the signal leak. It is not that you are weak. It is that your brain has no off switch for people's intentions. You walk into a room and immediately clock every shift in energy. The silence. The forced smile. The person who looked away too quickly. The person who suddenly became too friendly. And because you see so much, you start calculating too much. That calculation shows. It shows in the micro-pause before you answer. It shows in the delayed smile, the careful wording, the extra softness you add because you are trying not to create conflict. To you, it feels like awareness. To them, it looks like load. And load is useful, because a person under load becomes easier to steer. This is the tax you never agreed to pay. You notice more, so you carry more. You carry more, so you pause more. You pause more, so the wrong person gets more time to read you. That is why your intelligence can become dangerous in the wrong room. And visibility is what predators use. They are not looking for the person who knows nothing. They are looking for the person who knows enough to doubt themselves. A manipulative person does not always begin with control. They begin with a small test, a casual insult. You're being rude. You look tired. You always take things so seriously. It is not the sentence that matters. It is what happens after the sentence. Do you defend yourself too quickly? Do you laugh it off? Do you freeze? Do you explain? Do you soften? That moment tells them where the door is. If you pause because you are trying to decode whether it was a joke, a status move, or a threat, they learn something. They learn that your mind can be pulled away from your boundary. You are no longer responding from position. You are responding from analysis. And analysis is slower than pressure. That is why reflexive politeness becomes dangerous. You say no, but you add 3 explanations. You set a boundary, but you immediately manage their feelings. You disagree, but your voice lowers. Your face softens, and your body tries to make the disagreement look harmless. You think you are being considerate. They see that you are audit mode. You are checking yourself while they are checking you. Everything we have talked about so far is what happens after they notice you. But what most people never realize is this. Your intelligence is often what made them notice you in the first place. Because high awareness creates a pattern, you enter a room like a radar station. You scan the energy. You detect the tension. You feel the invisible coldness before anyone says a word. And when someone carries hidden aggression, they can feel that you felt it. Because your body reacted before your mouth did. You adjusted. You got quiet. You looked away. You became careful. That carefulness tells them you are seeing more than you are saying. And now the game changes. They are not just watching you. They are timing you. They already know how long you hesitate under pressure. They are timing how long it takes you to recover after a strange comment. They are timing how quickly you smile after tension enters the room. They are timing how fast you explain yourself when accused. They are timing how long you stay polite after they cross a line. That is the predator's stopwatch, and the stopwatch is not measuring intelligence. It is measuring access. Because if they can create a pause, they can enter the pause. If they can create confusion, they can speak before you stabilize. If they can make you analyze yourself, they can make you abandon your first signal. This is where intelligent people get trapped. You feel something is wrong. But instead of acting on the signal, you build a courtroom inside your head. Was that manipulation? Or did I misread it? Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I should be fair. And while you are running that internal trial, they are already moving. They push again. They reframe again. They make you defend the fact that you noticed anything at all. This is how gaslighting gets in. Not because you are stupid, because you are too committed to being accurate. You want the full context before you respond. You want to be reasonable. You want to understand every side. But predators do not need you to be wrong. They only need you to delay long enough for them to define the moment before you do. That is why intellectualizing abuse can become a trap. You are trying to understand the pattern. They are using the time it takes you to understand it. You are checking the backstage of human behavior. They are using the front stage to control the scene. You can explain away the first insult. You can rationalize the second boundary violation. You can turn the third red flag into a personality difference. By the time the pattern becomes obvious, they have already mapped your hesitation. They know where you overthink. They know where you over-explain. They know where you become polite when you should become still. If you are replaying this right now to check whether you do this, you have already proven the point. Your mind is not just watching the world. It is watching itself watch the world. It is high-resolution exhaustion. A normal conversation becomes a marathon because you are tracking tone, timing, posture, intention, and your own reaction to all of it. But here is the part that matters. You do not fix the leak by becoming less intelligent. You fix it by becoming less readable. When something feels off, do not rush to explain. Do not rush to soften. Do not rush to prove you are fair. Return to zero. Neutral face, neutral breath, neutral sentence. Say less than your anxiety wants you to say. If someone throws a casual insult at you, do not instantly analyze it out loud. Pause, but do not collapse inward. Look at them and say, "What do you mean by that?" That one sentence does something important. It moves the burden back to them. It forces the person who created the ambiguity to clarify the ambiguity, and it keeps you from giving away the internal equation. If someone pressures you for a fast answer, do not over-explain the delay. Say, "I'll think about it and get back to you." If someone accuses you of being rude because you notice the shift, do not defend your entire personality. Say, "I heard what you said," then hold your position. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is to stop broadcasting your processing. Your intelligence should inform your response, not replace it. Because once a predator realizes you can observe without leaking, pause without spiraling, and think without surrendering your position, you become harder to solve. And that is what changes the selection process. Not being louder, not being meaner, not becoming suspicious of everyone, just refusing to turn every strange moment into a visible internal emergency. Your intelligence is not the problem. The leak is the problem. The over-explaining is the problem. The reflexive politeness is the problem. The delay that pulls you away from your boundary is the problem. Close that leak, and the same intelligence that made you measurable becomes the thing that makes you unreadable. Because the most dangerous person to manipulate is not the person who sees everything. It is the person who sees everything and stops proving it in real time. Now that you understand your intelligence is the signal they track, you need to see the exact tests they use to confirm it. Watch this next, because this is where they stop observing and start provoking.